The Maze Runner is a 2014 American dystopian science fiction film directed by Wes Ball in his directorial debut, based on James Dashner's 2009 novel of the same name. The film is the first installment in the Maze Runner film series and was produced by Ellen Goldsmith-Vein, Wyck Godfrey, Marty Bowen, and Lee Stollman, with a screenplay by Noah Oppenheim, Grant Pierce Myers, and T.S. Nowlin. The film stars Dylan O'Brien, Kea Scodelario, Aml Ameen, Thomas Brodie-Sangster, Kai-Hong Lee, Will Poulter, and Patricia Clarkson. The story follows 16-year-old Thomas, portrayed by O'Brien, who awakens in a rusty elevator with no memory of who he is, only to learn that he has been delivered to the middle of an intricate maze, along with many other boys who have been trying to find their way out of the ever-changing labyrinth, all while establishing a functioning society in what they call the Glade. Development of The Maze Runner began in January 2011 when Fox purchased the film rights to Dashner's novel with film studios Temple Hill Entertainment and TSG Entertainment. Principal photography began in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on May 13, 2013, and officially concluded on July 12, 2013. The Maze Runner was released on September 19, 2014, in the United States by 20th Century Fox. Critics considered it to be better than most young adult book-to-film adaptations. The film topped the box office during its opening weekend with a $32.5 million debut, making it the 7th highest-grossing debut in September. The film earned over $348 million worldwide at the box office, against its budget of $34 million. A sequel, Maze Runner: The Scorched Trials, was released on September 18, 2015, in the United States. A third and final film, Maze Runner: The Death Cure, was released on January 26, 2018. A teenager wakes up inside an underground elevator with no memory of his identity. Some male youths greet him in a large grassy area, called the Glade, enclosed by tall stone walls. The boys, the Gladers, have formed a rudimentary society, and each assumes specialized tasks. Their leader, Albie, says that every boy eventually recalls his name, but not his past. The boy learns that a vast maze surrounding them is the only way out. During the day, designated runners search the maze for an escape route and return before nightfall when the entrance closes. No one has ever survived a night in the maze. In competition with another boy named Gally, the boy suddenly remembers his name, Thomas. The next day, he is attacked by Ben, a runner who has been stung and left delirious by a griever, one of the deadly techno-organic creatures that roam the maze at night. Ben is forced into the maze and left to die, as there is no cure for his condition. Albie and Minho, the lead runner, later retrace Ben's steps inside the maze. Minho reappears at dusk, dragging Albie, who has been stung, but they are unable to reach the closing entrance in time. Thomas runs into the maze to help, which leaves all three trapped. Thomas lures a griever into a closing passageway, which causes it to be crushed. The three manage to survive the night and return the next morning. The first ever girl arrives in the elevator with a note saying that she is the last one to enter the Glade. She recognizes Thomas, but he cannot remember her. Thomas, Minho, Frypan, Winston, and Zart enter the maze, locate the griever corpse, and remove a beeping mechanical device from inside it. Gally claims that Thomas has jeopardized the fragile peace between the youths and the grievers and wants him punished. However, Newt, the group's second-in-command, instead designates Thomas as a runner. Minho shows Thomas a hand-constructed model of the maze that is based on previous explorations. The maze numbered sections open and close in a regular sequence. Thomas realizes that the device corresponds to a section of the maze. The girl, Teresa, has 2 syringes filled with an unknown substance. One is used on Albie, and he recovers from the Griever's sting. Minho and Thomas venture back into the maze with the device and discover a possible exit. A laser then scans the 2, and the exit closes. Thomas and Minho start to run away as traps activated by lasers nearly kill them. That night, the maze entrance does not close, and others open, which let grievers pour in. A massacre ensues as the Gladers struggle to fight back or hide. Albie, Zart, Clint, and several others are killed. Afterward, Gally punches Thomas and blames him for everything that happened. Thomas, who has been having disconnected memory flashes since his arrival, stabs himself with a severed Griever stinger in an attempt to revive his memory. The others inject him with the last antivenom. Unconscious, he recalls that he and Teresa worked for the organization that created the maze, WCKD. The boys unknowingly have been test subjects for an experiment. Thomas awakens and shares that information with Newt, Minho, Chuck, and Teresa. Thomas then reveals himself and Teresa and confesses that they worked with WCKD and studied the boys for years. Meanwhile, Gally has taken command and intends to sacrifice Thomas and Teresa to the Grievers to restore peace. However, several Gladers form a group, free them, and approach the maze in an attempt to find an escape. Gally and a few others refuse to leave. Fighting Grievers as they go, Jeff and several other Gladers are killed. The Gladers eventually enter a laboratory strewn with corpses. In a video recording, a woman, Ava Page, explains that the planet has been devastated by a massive solar flare, followed by a pandemic of a deadly virus, the flare. The teens learn that they were part of an experiment intended to develop a cure. Paige is seen shooting herself in the video as the lab is overtaken by armed men. Gally suddenly arrives with a gun. Having been stung by a griever, he insists that they must stay in the maze and aims at Thomas. Minho impales Gally with a spear, but Gally has already fired the gun, with Chuck fatally shot. While Thomas mourns over Chuck, masked armed men then rush in and take the rest of the group to a helicopter. It flies over a vast desert wasteland and approaches a ruined city. Later, the supposedly dead scientists meet in a room. Paige notes that the experiment has been successful. The survivors are now entering Phase 2.